To make the little cemetery stones, all you're going to need is some styrofoam disposable dishes that have been chucked away. And we're going to be using the flat side, and you need to cut out the flat areas of the styrofoam dish. And this gives volume and support to the cemetery stones. Now, if you're like me, you would want to create some type of templates. And over here, I have a variety of different templates for cemetery stones. I'll turn it over so it kind of looks like that you can make and create with. And every single one of them has a different style. I'll pull them up so you can see them. Every single one of them has a different style. So you can see how you can put that directly on your styrofoam dish, trace around with a pencil, and cut it out. It's very important to save some of the styrofoam dish here part for the base. You might want to make two of these so that the stone can be standing up. That being said, let's use one of our stones here. I'm going to choose this one here. I'm going to make another one of these stones, and just going to put that little guy right on there, and we're just going to trace around it. A little template, just in case you want to make a bunch of stones that are all the same size and shape, and mass produce them a little bit. And then I can actually, with the same size here, I can just make a base. So we can cut this in half. You can see that's going to be one part of the base and another part of the base, and we really don't need it that big because yeah, that's about the right size for a base. So we're going to cut these pieces out, and I'll show you how to assemble them. Once we got our stone done like this, let's cut this little guy out with a pair of scissors. Cuts so gently and so nicely. And very relaxing. So let me cut this out, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's all cut out. Okay, now once you get your little pieces out like this, you gotta get your hot glue gun up and going. And the first thing you want to do is you want to layer up the two bottom pieces. And I'm just shooting off some hot glue here and stacking those two pieces together like that, and letting that cool for a moment. And then I want to put one more generous coat of hot glue and stand up our little tombstone just like that. Voila! It only took me about a moment here to put these little guys to use. I used these templates right here, and I made two of them. So let's start molding them with the Fila clay. Today I'm just using an air-base Fila clay, and I'm going to take out some of this clay, and I want to coat the surface of our tombstone completely. So flatten it out, lay it down, and coat the surface of your tombstone. I'm going to show you what it looks like when it's done. And just show you a little bit about what I'm doing over here. I'm just pushing the clay, molding it over the foam. That's just it. And it doesn't take very long. You can just push it and mold it and put a little bit on there and stuff. Just mold it on. And it actually looks like stone has been carved, because you got your fingerprints in there and all these dents and crevices and lines and stuff. And when you start getting down to the base is when it can get really fun, because you can mold and shape the base to look like it was chiseled too. This just goes over so well. Okay, once you get like that completely coated, now you can take some tools and you can make some lines and some depressions over here and flatten it out. Change the shape, mold it into place, add some great crevices and lines, and let's keep shaping this and see what it comes out like. And once you got that completely, I actually drew a line. I used my little putty knife here. The clay is so soft and nice, and I just put a little line around the stone, like you'd see in the cemetery. And for those of you who are really into cemetery stones like I am, I mean, you kind of have some of your favorites, but that came out really cool. So let's see what this looks like when it's hardened, and I'm going to show you some examples of stones that I did previously to this video, so we're going to start going into step 2. So these are stones that I made up yesterday, and you can see how they actually, don't worry about the cracks, stuff like that. That only adds to the stone. And this one, I wanted to have one of those type of monumental stones, and I put the thing on there, put like some family name down here, and this little guy. So let's mix up some gray stone color using acrylics. Today I am using a Shield 600 white and a black alpha acrylic. This is a 999, and we're mixing them together as ratio 4:1, and I'm going to be using a nice big soft brush over here, and I'm blending the black into the white to see what type of gray tone we can create here. Now that's just too light for me. We want something that looks like granite. Yeah. There. That is, I want that a little bit darker. Yeah, look at that. That's really nice. That's a nice color right there. So let's mix this up and let's paint our stone. So yesterday I had this double family stone over here, husband and wife, 2 people usually buried with the headstone like this, and I'm just going to layer up that paint just so nicely. Now after you do the coating of it, let it dry completely, and we'll see what these look like when they're finished. Once you get your little tombstones all painted up and they're dried like this one came out really cool. You want to use a permanent magic marker now, and you want to write on here the names of the people that are supposed to be buried there. So let's do that right now. Once you get all your wording on there, I actually use real tombstones that I saw online, so they're good for reference. So now let's do a wash and let's age these. How do you make a wash? Well, you're going to need a little bit of water and a very, very soft brush. And we're going to dip that in there, and we're using today a black 999 acrylic. And we're going to make up a wash today. A slurry. And don't be afraid to slap it on there, because this will in fact slide off, and that leaves the residue that you're going to need. You want it to see it's going in the crevices of the crevices that I made with the plastic spatula. Layer this on here, and now just let that set and let it just drip off, and that's going to be stone aging. You can see how messy this gets, but it's a lot of fun. Actually, in fact, I had also the other 2 stones that I had did yesterday that have yet to be completed, so I'm going to paint those up today in our granite gray, and let these guys dry, and let's see what they look like. And this is our final work of our cemetery. Now you can make your own.